Girl Ash. I'm visiting back, babies, right? Just here to tell a message, do some critical thinking or creative thinking, right? Just telling y'all whatever comes to my mind. Um, it was something specifically about like I have no idea how does things make sense, how does things add up. All right, so I believe it was yesterday or 2 days ago, where it was either yesterday or 2 days ago, where I was just outside and I'm like, okay, well, let me just record on my phone and talk about my feelings and what I'm seeing, what I'm going through, right? And in my notebook here, um, I was talking about I was talking about thick. I told y'all in the message, but you probably can't see. I was talking about this. So a stick person, right? Or a five-way street. And yesterday I was in the middle of a five-way street. But obviously I had wrote this before I was in the middle of this five-way street. So it won't even focus, right? All right, so the stick man. Now today on Facebook, I seen a HBO documentary called The Burning Man, and basically it's about this community or whatever that they go somewhere where they live or where they stay or where they vacation at out the year, and they like be free, they do whatever they want to do. It kind of reminded me actually of the artificial intelligence movie where all the robots and stuff was at, even though these are not robots, these are actual people. Okay, but in like the middle or is standing this big old stick person, like a stick man, right? And they had their arms up like how I showed in this picture. Oh boy. All right, how I showed what I wrote. Okay, so and then what's crazy is the day that I talked about it was actually the same day that this documentary came out. Saying in the message, I was like, have y'all ever like experienced something where it's either before you talk about it, it's like all of a sudden you see it, or after you talk about it, you notice it. Okay, so it's something about that here. And it's something else that happened to me recently earlier today. Um, where I'm like, okay, well, how does that make sense? Or how? Okay, so it's a lot of questions about when, where, why, right? Um, so yeah, and I know yesterday what we were discussing was about how someone doesn't want you to sleep, right? Or it's being hard to sleep, or it's hard to sleep. But also, I've been seeing things pop up talking about, oh, rest or rest or rest or rest, rest up, get your rest. And I'm just like, it don't make sense. They're talking about people that are dead, right? So, or that have died. Okay, now you can rest. So I don't know how that makes sense, but I ask God to protect everyone around me, right? Um, all the people that are doing good things in life, that are helping people in life, that are bringing good things into the world. I ask that God protects them and covers them, and allow them to continue to be prosperous in this world. And I ask that for myself too. So I'm just like, all right, what is this trying to tell me? In some cases, people say, you know, you can rest when you uh, are out of here. But like I said, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, your body needs to rest and needs sleep because it has to rejuvenate. It has people wanting you to do something, okay, or you're being tested, see what you're gonna do in certain situations, or see, just certain things like what are you gonna do, right? And I feel like in life, you know, it is it is test where will you do what you don't want to do, or you're going to do what you will do. And also, are you going to do what's uncomfortable for you, or are you going to do what's comfortable for you? And sometimes those things can collide together. It's like you want to do this, but then you don't. It's like, do I need to do it? Like, do I need it or don't I need it? So it's about needs and wants here, and maybe a question about I need and what I want. Just because I want it, that doesn't mean that I need it. Just because I want to do that doesn't mean that I need to do that. So I feel like this is a test of needs and wants. Okay, and how does this make sense with the stick man, right? I feel like the ways, the five-way street, right? Which would be the head, the arms, and the legs. It's like you are in the middle of five directions, all right? And sometimes when you are placed in the middle, you can be like, okay, which way do I go? Right? But what if the way is just the straightforward way? What if the way is not going to the left arm, the right arm, the left leg, the right leg, but to go straight forward to your head, right? Do what you think is best, right? What use your brain, right? Why do we have a brain, right? Is to use it. And also, when I was watching this documentary and I'm learning things about this documentary, it was kind of telling me how, about the Matrix, and how in the Matrix, it's like if you were born in the Matrix, of course, these robots or whatever, they can control your brain and things like that. The key is to hack your brain for you not to think for yourself, for other people can think for you, okay? So it's something about thinking for yourself, always being able to think for yourself. And maybe that is a part of freedom. Maybe freedom is also about thinking for yourself and making choices for yourself. But also, what I learned in a documentary is as well that we have consequences. Every action is a reaction. So how they was talking about the oracle, and they were saying like the oracle basically had consequences for their actions and reactions with everything that they did that was dealing inside of the matrix, right? So um you know it's that's kind of has something to deal with it. But um you know it's like this. It's like this. It's kind of giving me back in the day when I was younger, and I had needed a coach, right? I just uploaded a thing about a coach, right? Now, a coach can be a good coach and a coach can be a bad coach, two different types of coaches, okay? And one coach can be a coach that is basically telling you what to do, but you don't feel comfortable doing it, or being someone that you don't want to be. And the key is to find the coach that allows you to be yourself. You know what I mean? It's like having to be this character, but at the same time being who you truly are, or finding a coach where you can be who you truly want to be and be who you truly are, as well here, right? It's also something about what I was talking about the other day about, trying to stay holy, even though I be pushed to be unholy, like, holy and unholy, right? Black, white, yin, yang, short, tall, left, right, up, down, all the opposites. And what I was when I was watching this video also about the Matrix is that they were saying how basically Neo opposite is Mr. Smith. You know what I'm saying? Is that person. And basically he's just the negative and the other one is just the positive. He says y'all are both the same people, but y'all are different, right? And that was the same thing I was saying. Yes, that's where we come to, like me learning that, and I was like, okay, well, I was talking about black, white, the peace sign, the yin, the yang, here, short, tall. And that's why I was like, okay, well, how did I know that? It's just things that the mind is just amazing at knowing or understanding or coming up with or finding out about. And sometimes now I do ask myself, it's like, okay, well, it's either that, you know, people can like, or God can just drop things down to you in your brain for you to realize these things, or it's true that people may have been here before, you may have been here before, or you've seen situations before, or it's connected to the bloodline somehow, that you just know things that has been here before you, or you just know things, right? When you just know it, okay, as well. But it's something important about keeping your brain intact, keeping the way that you think and the way that you believe intact. All right, not changing who you are, because once you start to change who you are, maybe that is what makes you physically change when you can't be who you truly want to be. That's kind of what I'm getting. So, but yeah, also it's like it's like you have to know, I'm getting like you have to know the right times and the right places to be a certain part of you. That's also what I'm getting, right? The holy and the unholy. That's kind of what I'm getting and feeling. You got to know who to talk to correctly and know who to talk to in a way that they deserve to be talked to. Or the time. It's like a time and a place for everything. That's also what I'm getting. And I also want to say, being an actual human being is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to have a brain. It's a beautiful thing to not be a robot and to just know things and to just use your brain. That is a beautiful thing that humans have, that I feel like sometimes, you know, maybe people don't value it, or maybe at one point in time you didn't value it as well. Being able to use your brain and not be artificial intelligence. And then one thing as well, it's a beautiful thing where if you are an artist and you can create art, you can create poetry, you can say how you feel, you can speak. You don't need something that's pre-programmed inside of you to open up the things that are inside of you. It's already there. It's already in your DNA. That is what you are. That is who you are. Because, and that's why I say sometimes when other people are acting, right? I understand that they're acting. I understand that they're playing like they're sad that somebody passed away. But I'm like, I can't sit there and play like that. I can't sit there and be like, oh man, I really care about you when I really don't. It's something beautiful about still having feelings, still having, you. And it's two different types of people that I feel like I'm talking about. It's one type of person that I'm talking about basically is like they can't feel, right? Which would be like in the Matrix, the robots. But as well as the Matrix had went along, they tried to explain like they can feel, but we're talking about the ones that can't feel. They can't feel emotions. They can't feel when other people, that type of feeling. And then we have actual humans that cannot feel. People that don't feel bad about anything that they do, that don't feel bad about their actions, that don't think about it. You know what I'm saying? I was looking at a word that I came up that I didn't come up with, but I was looking at a word. It was bithe, Bati or something, Bethel or whatever. And it was basically a word about a person that's just nonchalant, that doesn't really care, that's really carefree. And see, in the definition of this word, it's like 50-50. And 50% of it is very beautiful, meaning to be carefree in life and not worry about what anybody else has to say or think about you. And then it's the other 50% where it's like you just don't care at all. You only care about your feelings, your emotions, your reactions, um, you, and nobody else. So this might have something to deal with like the movie I saw. I went to go see Toy Story. Um, I miss how it would be back in the day. I kind of don't miss it much that people ain't in the show. Where it's like kind of cozy, but I feel like maybe you should go in the morning time, right? If you don't like a whole bunch of people. But I miss how people feel the movie theaters at nighttime when you knew something was coming out and the movie theaters was filled, where you waited on your friends at the movie theater and y'all met up at the movies just to watch a movie, just to be together. Or on some of the coldest days, y'all still at the movie theater, can't wait to see a movie, experience it, right? And something about Toy Story as well. It's like, being able to interact with other people. And I understood that because, like I said, I can get on here and I can talk and I can express myself. I can get on a microphone and I can talk and I can express myself. But to actually start a conversation with a person, to actually do this in person, that is something that I'm like, what do I say? I would totally just freeze. Like, I don't know how to keep a conversation going or anything like that. But that's because as I removed myself from playing with toys, like in Toy Story, and I started to play on computers and laptops and things like that, that became my life. That became my focus. Those people became my friends. And I feel like also as well, that is where it introduced me into something that I wasn't, because I was around people that kind of told me like, yeah, you are this, but you should be like this, and you should treat people like this, and you should talk like this, and you need to be more stern like this. And sometimes, yes, that is, if that's my job and that's what I'm getting paid to do. But still, that played a effect, and that played a part on other people. And sometimes we have to always know when to separate ourselves from work and just being a person. Sometimes we get so caught up in being work and what's our title and this, that we forget about other people that actually work for us. How do they feel? How are we treating them? Because yes, I might be this person, but I still have to understand that, okay, well, this person has a child at home. This person doesn't feel well. This person has feelings too. This person wants to be talked to correctly. These are things that I have forgot simply because of what I was trying to be and the role that I was trying to do well in. And sometimes when we think about life, right? Oh, what will we be remembered as? What will we be remembered as? And I feel like that's the time, or that's the things that, it comes in to a point where it's like, um, okay, well, do I continue to be this person because I have to be this person because that's what my job title requires me to be? Or do I be the person that, hey, if I leave this company or when this person leaves, am I going to be able to have them say, oh yeah, that boss was a cool boss. That boss was an understanding boss. That boss was somebody that, understood me or respected me. And at the same time, we also need to, yeah, we at the same time we kind of also need to know when to be the boss, right? Because that sometimes, the people that will try to get over on you will get over on you. The people that will try to push you over because they know that they can, they will. Which are the people that we call the monkeys, right? But the monkeys in the reverse, where the monkey is jovial, the monkey is the life of the party, but also as well, the monkey in the reverse takes more than what they need. The monkey in the reverse will use people just because of their energy or who they feel like they are. When we're talking about the mouse, the monkey, the T-Rex, and oh man, monkey, mouse, T-Rex. I forgot the other one. It was one more. I gotta look it up. But yeah, so it's something about that, right? And I feel like out of all of them, the mouse basically in the reverse or still even in the upright, the mouse is the one that has to protect themselves the most out of everybody. Because the mouse in the reverse will have people walk over them, will have people let them do them any kind of way. And then also the mouse in the upright, people will still push them because who do you think you are? You're just a mouse, right? Do you see how little you are underneath me? Who do you think you are? You're not bigger than the T-Rex. You're not bigger than a monkey. And I believe it was a lion. Okay? I believe it was. You're not bigger than a lion. Who do you think you are? So the mouse is the one that has the most to prove to every single last one of them in the reverse or in the upright. Just because I'm small doesn't mean that I'm not mighty. Or just because I'm quiet, that don't mean I'm not loud. And just because I let it go doesn't mean that I will back down. Okay? Clock it. So, yeah, those are some things that's just on my mind. Whatever I wanted to talk about and wanted to say, right? But as the mouse, you have to make sure that you have the right coach, because the wrong coach can make the mouse turn into a lion in the reverse or a T-Rex in the reverse. The mouse has to make sure that they won't allow people to change them. but to adapt to their environment and to stick to who they are, and to know when to pull out their sword and to know when to keep the sword tucked. So that's all I have. Hopefully something resonated. Hopefully something helped somebody. And maybe I'm just helping myself.